The next earnings from Nvidia have the potential to revolutionize the industry. If they do it right, this stock may soar. I'm talking about a moonshot. Although it's a high-risk, high-reward strategy, if you're feeling optimistic, now is the ideal moment to invest. Additionally, he asserts that Nvidia is the key stock, linchpin, kingpin, or whatever you want to call it, and that Nvidia will be next week. I don't want anyone to make or ruin Nvidia, as you have also stated. People constantly visit Nvidia since it is the S&P's top-performing stock. Internally, AI is assisting Meta's business by enabling their clients to focus on other things and forget about the Apple iOS issue, which is now behind them. Mark Zuckerberg and Jensen Huang, the CEO of Nvidia, would both tell you that they work closely with the company to accomplish this. These are the guys who truly get them and know what they're doing. Additionally, I recall Jensen telling me that if Mark was argumentative, he wouldn't have my support. In terms of AI stories, this might be the best. I doubt it is. At least it has been looking a little toppy in recent months. But who doesn't think the AI tale will revolutionize everything in the long run? Speaking of technology, Nvidia's results are in a week. We were compiling data that examined Nvidia's post-earnings reaction. Bob, Nvidia has gained roughly 10% the day after releasing earnings in 5 of the previous 6 quarters. Expectations are high for this report, especially with the uncertainty around a possible Blackwell delay. Isn't that right? Thus, the question is whether the echo becomes slightly less each time. I would expect a very strong earnings beat of some sort. But keep in mind that Nvidia's statistics increased so dramatically over the last 2 years that the market had to catch up after their AI move and play. Additionally, I believe that the market is already expecting these beats. Therefore, I believe that you will receive very significant feedback, but I do not believe that you will experience the same abrupt upward movement that you experienced in, say, 2022 and 2023. It's currently locked at 129 a share, or you might say that the market has simply risen so rapidly that it makes sense for it to decline. Yes, mega caps have been the driving force behind it, and it most likely needs a pullback. Next week's Nvidia earnings are likely to be the biggest driver of those mega caps. Therefore, before Nvidia's earnings, would I be shocked to see some sideways price activity for the Nasdaq and QQQ? No, however, I don't want to wager against Nvidia's profits. In my opinion, the key question facing the market this week in relation to Jackson Hole is whether we can resume the expanding out. Are small caps allowed to take part? Since their participation in this recovery hasn't been nearly as significant as that of the other equity size classes. That, in my opinion, is really crucial on Friday. Small hats, in my opinion, must eventually attend the celebration. There's a chance that Nvidia may give you advice that isn't as high as you anticipated, or that the AI market is slowing down. You can maintain this market moving forward, even if it moves sideways for the remainder of the year, if you have selling in those stocks and no selling in the rest of the market, which is doubtful. A further increase in multiples between now and the end of the year is not a given. By the end of September, I don't believe the market will actually be trading at 22 or 23 times next year's earnings. Therefore, in my opinion, the risk is primarily tied to Nvidia and will materialize within the next 10 days. If someone is disappointed, 10 days? 1 week from today, that is. 1 week from now. But it will unfold over the course of the following 10 days. No, I know what you mean, but we have to get through Jackson Hole first. Even while you still consider Nvidia to be the line in the sand for this market, additional evidence is on the way. Without a doubt, Nvidia poses the greatest market risk in my opinion. Whether small caps and some of the missing equity size classes or sectors can join the rally is, in my opinion, Jackson Hole's main concern. It's entirely Nvidia for me. However, I believe it's critical that viewers comprehend that during the past 30 days, a significant lesson has been imparted regarding the speed of the modern market. That is, how quickly the market changes. So you must ask yourself, where do I see things in the next 6 to 12 months? However, I believe it's critical that viewers comprehend that during the past 30 days, a significant lesson has been imparted regarding the speed of the modern market. That is, how quickly the market changes. So you must ask yourself, where do I see things in the next 6 to 12 months? Do I believe there will be more risky assets? I do indeed. Well, given how swiftly this market swings, you must remain committed to your allocations. Because the modern market moves so quickly, much faster than it did when I started in the business. It is extremely difficult to get back into the market if you left it in early August based on the price action you saw. You may want to time your way in and out of it. We still need to think about Nvidia in a week, so we can't go on to the next tech earnings season before we finish this one. What do you think of that? It's enormous, of course. At the moment, it is the most significant stock in the world. As a result, the entire market would be severely impacted if they laid an egg. They won't, in my opinion. They will surprise me in a positive way, in my opinion. It seems like the AI value explosion that Wall Street has witnessed over the past year and a half is just going to level off. But I don't think that's the case. That's what Wall Street is depending on moving forward. Recently, Eric Schmidt delivered a talk at Stanford. It was removed from YouTube after it was somewhat leaked a few days ago, due to his harsh remarks regarding Google's workplace culture. One of his tidbits of information, however, was that he talked to Sam Altman, and that they both think that over the next several years, each of the hyperscalers and the OpenAIs of the world will likely need to spend over $300 billion on Nvidia chips. $300 billion apiece. As a result, Nvidia's order book would be packed for the next 4 years, and they could essentially only supply those hyperscalers. Sitting in front of them is an enormous, mind-blowing sum of money. Furthermore, Nvidia receives more than 95% of that money, even if God loves AMD and Broadcom. You just mentioned it after all. Hyperscalers spend their money on the same things that Nvidia does. At what point, therefore, do you consider the expenditures of the hyperscalers and conclude that the return on invested capital, ROI, aspect of the tale may take a bit longer than we're prepared to acknowledge? How do we interpret that? In my opinion, Meta is now demonstrating that they are profiting greatly from this, which explains why their stock is currently in the mid-500s. I'm beginning to believe that Zuckerberg was misleading us a few years ago when he claimed to be investing a lot of money in Reality Labs. As a result, people panicked and sold the stock, which fell to $80. I kind of believe that by just investing so much money in Nvidia GPUs, he was attempting to outspend his rivals and get an advantage over them. He is so leading the way. If you were Andy Jassy, Microsoft, or OpenAI, would you allow another of these rivals to just seize the initiative and establish itself as the leading force in AI in the future? You simply can't do that, in my opinion. Additionally, you're only spending a small portion of the free cash flow that these businesses generate each year, or at the very least, less. Because the DOJ won't permit it, you won't keep that money on the balance sheet or utilize it for sales and acquisitions. In that same address, Eric Schmidt, I believe, stated that many of these individuals consider the return on investment in AI by asking, what is the return on investment in intelligence? Many of them believe it to be limitless. Over the next 5 years, some startling applications will be released. Scott, I have already witnessed a few that simply make my neck stand up. I am aware that everyone is eager to view the applications, but in certain circumstances, they are already available and will be available soon. The launch of ChatGPT is still less than 2 years away. The first 50 clients receive a 50% discount on anything in our store for a short period of time. This offer won't last long, so don't pass it up. Hurry now to save a ton of money. Be among the first 50, so act quickly. Use the link below to shop right now. Music.